you play modified. I honestly hated basketball when I was in modified. I hated my coach. I hated my team. It was just not a great experience. So I was going to quit.
Hello and welcome to the WBBL review.
Thank you for having me.
How are you? How have you been? Congratulations on the move to Nottingham.
Thank you. I've been good, practicing my game a lot. I'm really excited to get to Nottingham this season.
Well, we'll touch on Nottingham in a little bit, but let's go right back and learn more about you. So, where were you born?
Plattsburgh, New York.
Okay, tell us something everyone needs to know about where you're from.
It's nowhere near New York City. Nowhere near New York
Right,
City.
okay.
Way upstate, so near Burlington and Canada, not anywhere near New York City.
You here in New York, you would assume it would, yeah. Okay. So let's talk about basketball. And when did basketball become a thing in your life?
I was so young, I think maybe 10 or 11. I was playing town ball, and then I started playing AAU, so pretty early in my life.
Do you come from a sporting family? Who was your influences when you were growing up?
I don't come from a sporting family. My parents just kind of threw me into the game, and because I was tall, so they were like, "Oh, you're gonna love basketball," so they just threw me in and prayed for the best.
Did you try any other sports when you were growing up?
Yep, I played volleyball and track and field or athletics. Um, yeah, that's about it.
Did none of them take your fancy?
I liked volleyball a lot. That was a really fun time, and I had a lot of good friends in the volleyball team. But I really enjoyed basketball a lot more. So,
Whenever I chat to American players, often it's a volleyball. I've played volleyball in the past. But in England, we you might touch on it in PE for a very small time, but it's not. It doesn't seem like it's a thing. But in America, it seems quite big.
yeah, it's a big sport here. My older sister played it. My younger sister played it. I played it. Everybody I know plays volleyball here.
So let's talk about then when you were 10, 11, you started playing basketball. Is that when you started playing for teams?
Yep. So I started playing for our town. So we have like a town league, and then so we'd had a team for like the elementary school. So I would play for that team, and then I started playing AAU when I was in middle school, like eighth grade, seventh grade, and then just kept playing more and more from there.
Talk us through the first few years of you playing basketball and how does it work then? So you're playing in your local area. How does it work for you?
So we start with town ball, like when you're younger. Like usually people start like 5, 6, and you play like really, really young, and it's pretty bad basketball because you're 5 or 6. And then you get to middle school and you play modified. I honestly hated basketball when I was in modified. I hated my coach. I hated my team. It was just not a great experience, so I was going to quit. Then I got to junior varsity, which is the next step, and I had one of the best coaches I've ever had in my entire basketball career. Give her a little shout out. Her name is Kate Munson Dupree. And she really she really helped me fall in love with the game and the sport. Got me into AAU basketball and started playing year round. And then once I got past junior varsity, you play at the varsity level in high school. Also love my coach then, Greg Waters, another shout out. Definitely helped with the love for the game and helped me get to the place that I am today. And definitely grateful for all of them, but that's typically how basketball works here. And we have like all these steps to get through, and then you go to college, and then you're where I am.
So just going back to your first coach then, what was it about them that really didn't connect with you?
I think my coach didn't really know how to coach well, especially younger groups. So we're like 14 at the time, 13, 14. It's really a developmental time. And I think that the coach just wasn't a great fit for me personally to love the game. And he didn't really understand like post players and guards. So I was playing as a guard, and I was like
Right.
5'10", 5'11" at the time. And like it was just not a good fit.
And then, so you talked about college just before. When did that become a thing you thought, well, that's the route I'm going to go down?
So when I was playing in AAU, about ninth or 10th grade, I ended up moving to an AAU team that's actually based out of Vermont. So I would travel about an hour and a half, 2 days a week to practice. just because that team was, a lot more advanced and they played in a lot more tournaments and a lot more known tournaments. And I started getting calls and like emails from college coaches when I was in like 10th grade. And I was like, oh, like maybe I could play basketball like further than high school. And all my coaches were like, oh yeah, you should definitely try because you're like 6 foot whatever, and you're really like have the good quality developmental steps to play basketball in college. So really in like 10th grade and the AAU time was when I really thought that like college basketball was a thing maybe for me in the future.
So you said there about having a few different college coaches
Mhm.
email you. How do you come to that decision then? Where do you go? What was that like for you?
So I had a few college visits, so I would go to like the campuses. If I had an AAU tournament at the time, I would just go to like visit the school that was nearby if they were contacting me, just like see the campus, feel the campus, maybe talk to the coaches. I personally came to the decision of what school I wanted to go to based on the feel of the campus, the size of the campus, the quality of the education, and like the degrees that they had, and how I felt about the coaching staff. And there were a lot of factors that definitely went into it. But I think that I picked like the best college for me in the end. So
Let us know where you went and what did you study when you were there?
I went to Bryant University. It's in Rhode Island. I studied biology for my first 2 years, and then I switched to psychology, got a psychology degree. Then I did a fifth year and I got a sociology degree. So I have 2 degrees and a concentration in biology. So studied a lot of the sciences.
You just love studying.
Yep, I guess so.
Talk us through more the basketball at college then. What was that like? Talk us through the 5 years that you were there.
Mhm. My first 2 seasons, I didn't really play much. I was very quiet and reserved because I wasn't really sure like how to go about playing college sports. Nobody in my family had played college sports before me, so I didn't really know much about like the experience or how it went. And then after my sophomore year, we were in summer session, so we usually had summer session was from the end of May until July, and all of our post players had transferred out, so I was like the only post player at the time, and I really had to like be on my game because I was the only one that my coach was looking at. So I think something really switched for me at the end of my sophomore year in that summer session, and things just started going my way, and I started finding my groove, and I really found my love for the sport again, and it was just a good time.
So those first 2 years, were you around the team or did you separate yourself completely?
I was around the team, definitely always around the team. We would practice all the time and play all the time. We'd have dinner together, lunch together, breakfast together, but it just was, I don't know, it was just not my 2 years, not my best years, that's for sure.
So something switched obviously after then.
Mhm.
What was it like then when you were a more active part of the team?
It was really good. I started to like come into my own mentally too. So I was more active with the team. I was more talkative, more enjoyed the year. I had more friends on campus. I had better experiences. It was more fun because I got more attention from my coach too. She wasn't just like putting me off to the side. And I really enjoyed the experience a lot more once I started getting that playing time and more confidence and more experience in the game in college.
And after college, then did you always want to continue playing basketball?
I did, yeah. I didn't really think that it was like an option to keep playing because in my junior year, I didn't really think that I was good enough to play past college, but I knew it was always an option. And some of my teammates were really like, "Oh, you should like try and play like overseas or something because you could really have a career in that." And I definitely wanted to play like after college because I don't think I was ready to be done yet. So I definitely did want to play more after college was over.
And how did you find your next team?
I so I actually lucked out because I got that fifth year with COVID. So I had like an extra year to prepare to go overseas. And so at the end of my fourth year, my um, pre-COVID year, I was getting a lot of DMs and messages from agencies saying like, "Hey, do you want to play in Europe or overseas?" And I was like, "Yeah, I really do, but I also would like to stay here for the extra fifth year." So they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll contact you at the end of next year." So I was in contact with a lot of agencies, and I had a lot of phone calls and a lot of contacts, and eventually I chose an agency, and she really helped me find a good fit for me for the first few months. And yeah, so I found a good agent who helped me get to where I wanted to be in the end.
You mentioned COVID just before. Obviously, that it seems like such a long time ago now, but what was that situation like for you personally?
That was a really hard time for me, to be honest. We had so many unknowns at the beginning. Um, I didn't know if we were even going to have a season. And my team was really lucky because we did end up playing 21 games, I think it was. But it also kind of sucked because it was my senior year. I didn't know if I would get an extra year.
Mhm.
And I was really coming into my own, and I was like a really good player in my conference, and I was really having a great season, a breakout season. And so it was really tough mentally, but I think everything worked out in the end. So it definitely helped me in the long run.
So where did you find yourself going after fifth year?
I went to Spain. I played for a few months in Spain. I think it was level two. Yep, played there until November, and then I came home. Um, Worked on myself a little bit, worked on my game a little bit, and um, just wanted to like get back to loving the game, loving the sport, and um, I'm just really excited to like be able to continue playing even after coming home in November. So,
Yeah. So when did Nottingham get in contact? How is it through an agency again, or how does that situation happen?
so I got in contact with Play Overseas. I don't know if you're familiar with Play Overseas. It's an agency for college graduates who want to continue studying in college and keep playing their game even after NCAA eligibility is up. And they got me in contact with quite a few colleges and in England, and I just talking to NTU. They were the Nottingham Trent was the first college to reach out to me, and I just really was excited with the feel and how everyone was so home like, and they were like so team oriented and family oriented. And then I spoke with the coach from the Nottingham Wildcats, and she was so nice and so helpful, and she was really excited to have me on the team. So I'm really excited to join the team. That's for sure.
And how much do you know about the WBBL in this country? Have you had any people you know play in the league in the past?
I haven't that I know of. I know this year there are a few people coming from NCAA going over there. I know it's getting WBBL is getting a lot more exposure, I think, in the US than it has in previous years. I know it's still quite new. Um, but yeah, so I don't really know many people, but I know there's a few that I've heard of that are going over there this year.
I guess players like Carly Samuelson signing for London will help the exposure
Yep.
of the league.
Absolutely.
So I've got a few questions from a couple of fans.
Okay.
So first one is, have you been to the UK before? And if not, what are you looking forward to doing like in a touristy sense?
I haven't been to the UK before. The things that I'm most excited for, I'm so excited to visit all the cities. I can't wait to travel. That's something I love to do. I want to travel like all of Europe, but in the UK, I definitely want to travel to London and Scotland and Ireland and all those different places. I'm excited to visit.
I might be a little bit biased, but Newcastle is a really cool place. So definitely definitely come to Newcastle.
I definitely will.
Another question, not have been historically a couple of years ago challenging at the top end and challenging for honours, not so much in the last couple of years. So what can you bring, and do you think that that can be kind of brought back?
Um, I think my post game is something that I can bring to the game, and I think that I can make like the experience of being a post player more valuable. I think a lot of post players are more focused on scoring than they are on team aspect. I don't know how it is in the UK or anything, but here specifically, post players are more focused on scoring and focused on the basket alone. But one of my biggest assets is passing and assisting. So I really love to look for my guards and see, especially because I know like they all can make threes at this level. So I'm just really excited to bring my passing to the game, and I think that it'll definitely be a big help.
Right then, quick fire questions. A
Okay.
chance for us to get to know you a little bit better. Um, we'll start with a nice easy one. What is
Okay.
your favorite Netflix series at the moment or ever?
Ever. Definitely The Office. I've watched it way too many times to count.
A few people say The Office. It's on
Yeah, that's
Netflix in the UK, I think, so all good.
good. Whew.
Do you prefer McDonald's or KFC?
Ooh. I
Or
think
neither?
McDonald's.
Okay.
If I could say neither, probably neither. I don't really eat fast food that often, but I think if I had to choose one, I would definitely choose McDonald's.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee. I'm a big coffee fan.
That was very confident. I need coffee.
Every day, every morning.
What is your favorite Disney film?
Finding Nemo.
Okay,
Yeah, I
nice.
love Finding Nemo.
What annoys you the most?
Oh, in a grocery store when someone's shopping and they just put their cart in the middle of the aisle and just go
Mm.
off. That's my least favorite thing. I hate that so much. And definitely loud chewing too. That's one of my pet peeves. Hate that.
I think the shopping one gets me as well. You know, when people seem to have no awareness around them and they just stop looking at stuff, but right in the middle. Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
My least favorite thing.
What is your game day routine? Is there anything you've got to do every game day?
Meditation. So I usually do a 5 or 10 minute meditation, like an hour or so before the game, just to get my mind in the right headspace to play and get focused and just calm my nerves a little bit. That's really the only thing I do every game. Listen to some soft music, just relax.
What is your favorite meal?
uh, Definitely tomato soup and grilled cheese. I know it's a very classic, but that's definitely my favorite.
Okay. What is your favorite moment on court?
Oh, there's so many. Um, Probably the fifth year that I was in college, we weren't expected to like win any playoff games, and we ended up winning the semifinal game in like the last second. That was definitely one of my favorite moments. We won 65-63 on two free throws from one of my favorite teammates ever. Definitely one of my favorite moments. The celebration was crazy, and
Hmm.
it was an away game. It was at their court. They were the second seed. We were the eighth seed, so they really didn't expect us to win, and it was just one of my favorite moments ever.
That sounds good. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Favorite snack?
Probably granola bars, healthy, and then um, I like Pringles as my unhealthy snack. It's like my sort of treat.
America seems to have a lot more flavors than we do. A
We
lot of
have
the different flavors.
so many flavors. I like the original ones though.
Oh, good. What one rule in basketball would you change or get rid of completely?
I don't know if it's a rule, but I would add a rule of like no flopping. I hate
Okay.
that everybody flops in the US. It's the most annoying thing. Especially if there's like a guard on me, they just go like this and it's a foul
Hmm.
on me immediately. That's definitely one thing I would change.
Okay. What's the top of your bucket list?
Oh, definitely traveling anywhere, like everywhere. Traveling everywhere and definitely skydiving, but I'm kind of chicken to do that. So
If you could have like tickets to go anywhere, where would you travel to? Like, what was your top?
my top was actually Spain, so I got that checked right off. I think now France and Italy maybe are my next top two.
Or
Yeah.
the UK? Yeah, UK.
Well, the UK, I'm just, I'm already so excited to go there. So
Would you have pineapple on a pizza?
yes, I'm a huge pineapple fan. Yep, absolutely.
Correct answer.
Good.
Who's your favorite basketball player of all time?
Um, hmm. I don't really watch basketball that much. I don't know, that's kind of weird for basketball players, but probably Kobe Bryant, just because he was a fan of like the women's game and he
Hmm.
really advocated for the women's game. I think that he's definitely one of my top favorites, one, because he's good at basketball, and two, because he's a good advocate. So definitely Kobe Bryant.
Okay, I've got one more question. But
Okay.
do ask you that, I'm just going to say thank you so much for coming on and
Yeah.
spend this time with us so we can get to know you better before the new season.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
And I can't wait to see you play next season. But before you go, can you finish this sentence? I love basketball because.
It, I love basketball because it gives you great opportunities. You get to meet great people and you get to have a lot of fun in the process.
Amazing. Thank you so much, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.